Welcome to the Perfect Movie Podcast, the podcast that's on Zoom now, on video.
They are on Zoom now. They fly now.
They fly now. I'm Michael,
I'm Kalen.
and today we're looking in our rear view mirror. The year is 2026, but we're looking back at 2025. What happened back there? Good things? Were there good movies?
Ah, ah.
Eh. Um, Full disclosure, we did the first 40 minutes of this podcast already, and then I never hit the record button. So, Caitlin, what did you think of the year 2025 in movies?
In movies, I would say there were some hits. There were some definite misses. Um, I don't think it was as great as 2024. That's for damn sure. We had some bangers in 2024 that came out. But 2025 had a few standouts, a few films that I will never watch again, and that's okay. Much like every other year before that, it's pretty much the same. But it does feel like we are still in that era where a bunch of films are getting like that were supposed to be made back during COVID are now coming to the spotlight and being like pushed out. And so you have a few films that feel rushed, and overall, I don't know, it was kind of a mid-year for the most part.
Yeah, I tend to agree. There's for me, not a lot of movies that are like in my blew me away to the point where like Dune Part 2 did last year. Last year I watched
Yeah.
Dune Part 2 and then I just deep dived into like every new release thinking, kind of chasing that dragon. It was the dealer giving me that first hit and I was back for more.
Come to find out, that was like a once in a lifetime kind of deal there, buddy.
Yeah, it didn't pan out. It led to me watching a few really excellent movies that I'm glad I did watch that I probably wouldn't have if I hadn't been so dedicated, but also a lot of movies where I was like, this is mid. Um, so 2025 has a lot of like really good movies, but not a lot of movies that I'm really like, wow, super excellent. I think yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff here when I look at the list, but overall, like my experience of watching movies and new releases this year, I just wasn't that pumped for it. That might be a me problem. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah. Are you ready to just jump in? Let's just start naming some movies. The last couple of years we've done
Let's do it.
top 10 lists and bottom lists, but I think we're just going to shout out some movies and discuss them. So I think I'm going to kickstart it with something that we're going to disagree about.
Of
Kalen,
course.
I didn't like Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein all that much. And I know you were a big
We
fan.
kind of we got into this a little bit last night, off air, and I will say your take on this film is absolutely insane. Um, I'll let you kind of explain a little
Okay.
bit, but I
This
wholeheartedly disagreed with you.
this adaptation of Frankenstein starring Oscar Isaac, the really tall guy from Euphoria, isn't he on Euphoria? The
Yes.
Jacob Elordi, Christoph
Yep.
Waltz, Mia Goth. It is a movie that I rated 2.5 stars on Letterboxd, which you got mad at me for. But I gave it 2.5 stars because I thought it was really excellent for the most part in the like audiovisual, technical, costuming department, which Del Toro movies usually do succeed. Um, but I just didn't find this adaptation of Frankenstein to be that. interesting. I felt that like the first third or half of the movie, sort of the Oscar Isaac half, the Victor Frankenstein half, was more interesting than the monster half of the movie,
Sure.
which
Yeah.
is kind of backwards in the fact that yeah, that's the first hour and a half of the movie, and then the last hour or so is with the monster. Um, so I was just feeling the length by the end of it. And it's like a 2.5 hour movie, so not short. And I also just felt that, Guillermo del Toro, for several movies now, I mean, Pinocchio, I think, covers a lot of the same ground. Uh, you know, someone given life by a man that's sort of a father figure, then they run off into the world and, bounce off all these different characters they meet along the way, and then there's sort of a
Mm.
reunion towards the end. I
And
mean, obviously,
there's a childlike essence to that protagonist.
yeah, for both Pinocchio and Frankenstein, they're
Yeah.
very childlike. Although one's a monster that'll rip you limb for limb, and the other one's a little puppet that'll dance for you. Um, but between this and movies like Shape of Water, like Del Toro as a director has really been like about humanizing the monster and getting you to identify with the monster. I think what is ultimately my
Yes.
biggest issue with this movie is I felt that Frankenstein's monster was such a better person than Frankenstein, like Victor Frankenstein, that it was
That's the point.
but it was so completely unbalanced where I just feel like he is Frankenstein's monster. Like he should be wreaking havoc on his way, and he doesn't do a lot of that. Like every animal
But I
or
think that's
human
in line
that's
with the book too.
well, one thing that's not in line with the book, which this is a spoiler for the movie, is Victor Frankenstein doesn't have anything to do with Elizabeth's death.
For death. Yeah.
That's entirely Victor Frankenstein. Sorry, I think I said the monster has nothing to do with the death. Victor Frankenstein does. And it just felt really unbalanced to me, which like I understand kind of what we're doing here, but since the monster, like the scenes with him don't have a lot of like I feel like people should be afraid of him a little bit. I should feel a little afraid of him.
Yeah.
I feel like he
Yeah.
should be a little bit more of a wild card given his power and his origin story than he is once he sort of gets shoved out into the world, I guess.
Right. Right. I guess I just from my perspective and why I like the film so much, you know what it really reminded me of? Reminded me of Bram Stoker's Dracula. Um, tonally and just like the style of it, it had that big, like kind of grandiose feel
Hmm.
that not a lot of films, like period pieces, have anymore. And it felt like something that was made in the 90s. And it had that kind of like cheesiness to it as well. Some of the goofier stuff is like the monster itself, and his interactions just with people. Because, like we were saying, he very much is like a child, and so some of the more whimsical kind of stuff, it can come off a little goofy, and it just has that kind of like camp factor that I liked from those types of films. I do agree with some of the plot elements, um, but I will say Oscar Isaac, fantastic performance. And I really like the guy who played Frankenstein's monster,
Jacob Lordy.
um, Jacob Elordi. Yeah, he is like skyrocketing into popularity at the moment.
Jacob
Um,
Elordi's
he,
Frankenstein's monster is further proof you don't have to be handsome. You just have to be tall. And it tricks the women.
you don't think this guy's handsome?
Well, I mean, the man himself is handsome, but him as the monster,
Oh, that's the
you
monster.
know?
Okay, okay, okay. I was gonna say he's got a killer jawline. I don't know. He's almost like a bigger Timothy Chalamet.
He's Beefcake Timmy.
Yeah. He's like I saw him in Euphoria, and so I had known about this actor for a while, and he has an incredible performance in Euphoria as well. I just think he's one of those actors to look out for. I feel like he'll be around for a while, and he'll get a lot of work.
He's
So,
in Wuthering Heights with Margot Robbie coming out in a couple months.
oh yes, yep, yep, I heard about that one as well. Um, yeah, he I saw him in some random commercial, and that's how I knew. I was like, this guy, he's going places. But yeah, I love the vibe. I'm a big sucker for like gothic horror. Um, Nosferatu, that was like a movie that was made for me. I feel like so this one very much in the same vein, and I loved it.
Yeah, and I guess it's sort of a maybe a vampire thing, but when you compare another thing that I was thinking while I was watching this movie is I kept thinking of movies I liked more, which I did think of Bram Stoker's Dracula and also
Yeah,
the recently released Nosferatu. And I think both those movies, and this is more of a vampire thing than a Frankenstein's monster thing, have better romances in them. I don't buy
yeah,
the Mia Goth, Jacob Elordi romance. It's
yes,
very like childlike and simple in a way that just doesn't feel honest to the character that Mia Goth portrays. Because if anything, she's maybe my favorite performance in the movie. Like when she's turning up and like um those moments where she's like sticking it to Victor Frankenstein, those are maybe some of the better like dialogue scenes in the movie, in my opinion. Like when they have that
yeah.
dinner together and stuff like that. So I think that's
You
just
know
another
who
part
was?
where it kind of fell flat for me.
I agree with that too. It almost came off a little predatorial
Yeah.
in my
I'm like, he's a
perspective.
baby in a man's body, basically.
And she was like, "Oh my God, but he's
You have
so hot."
you have abs.
You know who was underutilized was Christoph Waltz. I thought he was going to be in the movie a lot longer,
Oh, they yeeted him
and
out that movie, literally.
which is crazy. That guy is like my favorite actor of all time. Like one of them. He's definitely up there. Fantastic. You got to have him in your movie as your antagonist or something. He's got to do a little bit more, I think. Um,
Well, he was dying of syphilis, so he was gonna go one way or
he,
another, you
he had
know?
to go eventually. Yes. Oscar Isaac, though, I think Oscar Isaac is one of those guys where it's like another one of those dudes where I'll watch anything he's in. He's a very competent actor. Poe Dameron aside, I would say
They fly now?
they fly now.
Christoph Waltz, that's what he said when he yeeted Christoph Waltz off the top of the tower.
He flies now. Now, Django, we're going to fly now. I can't. I can't do a Christoph Waltz impression, but
All right, Kalen, you're up. Pick a film.
I would like to talk about a Safdie Brothers film, but not the Safdie Brothers film you think I'm about to talk about. I would like to talk a little bit about the Smashing Machine. Um, Michael, you did not watch the Smashing Machine.
I have not.
Okay, the Smashing Machine is a Dwayne the Rock Johnson film. Dwayne the Rock Johnson joint, I should say. he's he's acting in this one, guys.
Much like the hit
Um,
films Rampage and
and Red Ones.
Jumanji. Yeah.
I watched Oppenheimer, and I was like, wow, this reminds me a lot of Red Ones. I will say he was acting his ass off in this movie,
Good for him.
or at least he was trying. And this is probably one of his best performances, I will say. He had a little bit of juice in him. Uh, that was kind of
Oh,
kind of punny,
because
you know,
he's does he take steroids?
because he takes steroids. He had a little bit of juice in him.
I see what you did there. In real
But
life,
yes,
like
this
the actor or the character?
the character, yes. I mean, in real life too,
Probably
probably.
both.
But this movie is directed by Benny Safdie. It's produced by Dwayne The Rock Johnson. This film follows Mark Kerr, who was a UFC champion from back in the 90s. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know all the history of UFC and that I know what this movie is really about because I really don't.
This is
All I
not the
know,
Joe Rogan podcast,
what you
okay?
think this is, Joe Rogan? You probably wish it was Joe Rogan. He's so much better than us. That's just fine. But anyways, this movie was fucking boring. That's what
Oh.
I'll say. Compared to another Safdie Brothers film that came out this year. It looks amazing. It's got a great look to it. It's got that dirty A24 90s vibe.
Mhm.
You know how A24 puts that filter on their films
Oh yeah.
to make it look like they're from back in the 90s. But it looks good. It had a budget of 50 million. It only grossed 21 million. So,
Big flop.
uh, yeah, which is unfortunate because I feel like there's definitely something in this. And I feel like people should watch it, especially if you're a Safdie Brothers fan, because this film is very much like near like Uncut Gems or Marty Supreme. As far as like the tone, it's a lot more somber and like you're just going through this guy's life as he just kind of struggles with the cost of fame and what he does to his body, and then also he spoilers, but he loses a fight after having an undefeated like career basically, and so that really kills him, and it's basically just I don't really know even how to describe that kind of genre of film, but it's just one of those sports movies, really, and it's inspired by the real guy. So also, it stars Emily Blunt as Mark Kerr's girlfriend.
Yeah.
She plays Dawn Staples, and she does a fine job. Uh, Solid performances overall. Hats off to The Rock because he really did like put on the facial prosthetics, and he really got into this character. He's still like you could tell. I mean, obviously, it's like this dude is fucking massive. Um, it's The Rock, but he was definitely trying in this one, so I commend him for that. And but you're not getting an Oscar for this, buddy. Sorry.
Sorry, bud. You know, it's funny. This Safdie Bros split up is kind of paralleling in sort of a speed run of the Coen brothers splitting up and starting to make their own
Yes,
movies. And it's
yes,
clear
I
that
was
like
thinking the same.
one brother's a little bit better than the other brother, or in like the Coen brothers case, one brother's like a lot better than the other brother. It seems at making movies
But
by
then when they come
themselves.
together, they make magic, you
Yeah.
know?
And it's interesting that they both split off and kind of took a sports angle to their like next
Yeah, in the
film.
same year, I didn't put those two together, but yeah, literally. Um, one sport is for like manly men, and then the
Yeah.
other sport is for like little twinks.
Right. It's for sport dominated by the nation of Japan. So, you know,
Then
Korea.
Timothy Chalamet is right there, just like, give me all your money. I need money.
Yeah.
Somebody give me money. He was such a sleazeball in that film. We'll get to that later. That's another great one though.
All right. I'm going to move on. I'm going to recommend something that I don't believe you've seen. It's available on Netflix. Um, maybe not one of my favorite movies of the year, but an experience I'm glad I had at least once. I rated it very highly on Letterboxd. It's called Train Dreams. Um, and it stars Joel Edgerton. Also has Felicity Jones, William H. Macy, Carrie Condon. And it's just sort of a bio of a like turn of the century, turn of like I suppose it would be the 20th century, so 1800s into the 1900s. Guy that's just like a woodsman. He's out in the frontier cutting down trees a lot. It's a dangerous job. He leaves for the season and leaves his like wife and child back at the cabin. Um, and I don't want to spoil too much about it, but it's just a very it's not breaking new ground in any way in the sort of like genre of sort of like bio type films, although this isn't
Yeah.
based on a real person. It's actually based on like I believe a novella of the same title. But it has this thing where everything's sort of there's like different chapters in his life and different people that sort of filter in and out of it. And it's only like 100-minute movie. It's pretty short. And the way that it goes about this, I think, without it's hard to talk about it without sounding pretentious, but it just really it feels like it encapsulates life in that time and
Yeah.
finds an ending that I like. I really love the ending. They play this song by Nick Cave that I believe was written for this movie. I think also titled Train
I just
Dreams.
pictured Nick Cage singing.
Yeah, not Nick Cage, Nick Cave, like Nick Cave in the bad
Nick
seats.
Cave.
Um, I don't know. It's just really, first off, it's fucking beautiful. Like they really make great use of like the frontier, and you really have this sense of space, and everything just
Mm.
seems just so big. And this we get Joel Edgerton voiceover, and it's really just kind of like meditative. And as these like different characters and phases of his life just kind of pass in and out, like he's gone through a lot of tragedy towards the end of the movie, and then he meets Carrie Condon, which is an actress that I've really just has a soft space in my heart from being the sister in Banshees of Inisherin. And like when
Mm.
she shows up, and it doesn't go the romantic angle, which I sort of expected at the moment, but when like she shows up, I'm kind of like take this like big deep breath, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness she's here because she's a great vibe. And I also think it's funny that sort of like the two women that float in and out of his life while he's a American frontiersman are these like British actresses playing Americans. Um, but yeah, it's just really well made. It's not breaking new ground, but if you want to watch something that's just like kind of touching and life fulfilling and kind of like, yeah, like I said, beautiful, encapsulates a life. It's highly recommend Train Dreams, available on Netflix.
Yeah, that actually sounds really interesting. I want to check that one out. 2025, you would say big year for horror, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
scared.
Oh, it's so spoopy out there. It's spoopy. Um, we watched a horror film together, um, at my house with the lights off,
Oh,
and we were really close.
this is not where I thought you were going. I thought for sure Sinners was going to come up.
I thought you were gonna think the monkey.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
We watched a film called Bring Her Back by our good old boys,
The
the
Filippo
directors
brothers.
of, yes, another brother group. Directors of Talk to Me. They're back at it again with another horror film. They are called the Masters of Horror now because they released one good horror film.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, that's all it
but
takes. See also Jordan Peele.
yeah, no kidding. Yeah, the Master of Horror. Um, we watched this movie together, and I think by the end we were like, this movie fucking sucked.
Yeah, my word wasn't that it sucked, but I was like, it was so grim and brutal and fucking mean that by the end of it, I'm like, why? You know?
And the ending was so lame,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It was the ending that killed me. And my letterbox review, and we talked about this. I was like, this is literally the ending to, or the Batman v Superman Martha scene was the ending of this movie.
I
She
think
said
I've
mommy, and then the possessed lady or whatever, she was like, she snapped out of it, or I don't know. It was stupid. And I remember being very like disappointed.
By the
And
way, we're gonna go full spoilers on every movie. The only thing I remember from the ending is our like main character boy getting drowned in a puddle at the end of the road, like at the end of the driveway. And I'm like,
after
good
like
God.
the after like the CPS lady gets run over.
Oh yeah. And Talk to Me is brutal when it's brutal moments, but it also has these moments that are like the kids are playing, the kids are having fun. It's and Bring Her Back is another movie that stars like teen characters, so you'd think they could sort of weave these like
And
breaks
these
and
kids are, but the thing is, like the kids are great.
yeah, all
The
the
kids are
actors are great.
they're the best characters. The blind girl, she's so lovable, and you
Hmm.
just want to protect her because like she's the most vulnerable person ever,
Right.
you know. And like there's that scene where I should say this is stars a woman from a Guillermo del Toro film. She was in Shape of Water that
Yeah,
we
Sally
mentioned
Hawkins,
earlier.
the fish fucker.
And she died in a pool at the end of the movie.
I want to like crossfade into the like the poster of Shape of Water, so they're like spooning together, you know? It's like the fish laying down with her.
Shape of Water, like the trailer, and then it just cuts to her punching the blind girl while she sleeps or whatever.
Yeah. But
Um,
great actors. The guy that plays Oliver, the like boy that's
oh, the boy, yeah,
becoming
he's fantastic.
possessed is amazing. There's a terrible scene involving a knife and a cantaloupe that I just don't even really want to
Uh,
like think about anymore.
that's what I will give them credit for is the shock factor.
Yeah.
At this point, we've seen everything. Uh, Not a whole lot probably shocks us as an audience anymore, but a few scenes in both Bring Her Back and in Talk to Me were very like, oh my God,
Yeah.
this is fucked.
When you're like sitting in
Um,
your chair gripping the signs, you're doing like a little bicycle kick, like with your feet, where you're just like, oh no, oh God.
yeah, and it doesn't help that it involves children.
Yeah.
And then also too, it's just like I don't know, it's very gratuitous, and it just keeps going on too. So I will say though, their films are beautiful. This movie looked really good. Um, what was their budget? Let me take a look.
I'm gonna guess 15 million.
Oh no, you were way off, buddy. Wow, the return is insane. Budget was 120 million. They box office 480,000.
For how, where is $120 million spent in Bring Her
Oh
Back?
wait, I was reading Frankenstein.
I was like, how? Most of that
Got you there.
movie
That
is
was a
in one,
joke.
most of that movie's in one house. Like 15 million.
That was
Still,
a goof. Hold on, I was on the wrong IMDb. Let me go back.
let's Bring Her Back.
Bring her back. Okay, 15 million. You're right.
Bada bing.
And I got a better return, 39.1 million. So they did good. They're going to make more movies. I think they're trying to. Who's doing Street Fighter? Because I know they wanted to do a Street Fighter movie. I don't think it's
I
done
don't know
though.
who the director is, but no, they're not in charge of the new Street Fighter
Did you
movie.
see the trailer for that movie?
I did see it.
I was really excited until I saw Andrew Schultz in it.
Worst guy you know made a great movie. That's what we could be saying about
Yeah,
Andrew
that's what we could be
Schultz.
saying.
Who knows?
Um, yeah, bring her back. I recommend to horror fans if you want to see more from the guys who made Talk to Me, which I think is like a modern classic. Um, check it out. But honestly, you're not getting much out of it.
All right, I'm gonna shift us to one of my most hated movies of the year, and that was the film Havoc, also on Netflix, starring Tom Hardy.
I love that I forced you to watch this.
Yeah, Kalen's been trying to get me to watch the show. What's the show by this director?
Gangs of London.
Gangs of London. He's been trying to get me to watch this show for a while. Gareth Evans is the director. And man, is there many movies that are just like I watched the opening scene and it looks like a video game a little bit, but I also watched it and thinking like, okay, this feels like we're set in like a GTA city or like some like noir video game city. So I can maybe get on board if this story takes me somewhere after that opening scene. But my God, is this the most like boilerplate cookie cutter? There's an angry detective in the city of New York type movie. Tom
And what
Hardy's
makes it even better, it's Tom Hardy.
yeah, Tom Hardy's just like grunting his way through this shit. There's like so many protracted gunfights that I like would have been cool if they ended 10 minutes ago, but I'm still watching it happen and I'm like,
Yeah.
I do not give a fuck anymore.
There was like one shootout that was pretty cool.
Which one?
And the nightclub one
The nightclub one's a pretty fun fight. Oh my God, the fight at the cabin at the end
is terrible.
is so terrible.
It's bad. Dude, okay, the only reason I even recommended you watch this stuff by Gareth Evans is because he made the fucking Raid movies, which
Yeah.
are some of the best like kung fu action movies ever. And it's awesome and his choreography is insane. Um, but those are Indonesian action films.
Yeah.
Gangs of London is set in London, and then this one is set in New York. It's all supposed to be like this shared kind of universe thing, I believe. But for whatever reason, he just drops the ball on this one. There's just no passion whatsoever. I thought that, and number one, casting Tom Hardy as your lead for this, I think was a mistake. You needed somebody with a little bit more gravitas, I believe, to pull this character off.
just don't care who you cast in this role. The script is so bad that it just like
It is
it
bad.
really doesn't matter. Like I can't think of a person that saves this movie. Maybe Denzel, but Denzel can't do all the action stuff, you know? Like his
So I
Equalizer
mean,
action scenes are very chill compared to that.
yeah, yeah. The only thing that was like salvageable about this movie and why I wanted you to watch it was I was like, this is basically a Christmas movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, because it's set in Christmas, and I kind of like the vibe of it. It's like this really dirty kind of '90s feeling, like New York, and it's kind of gross, and everybody's like really shady, and there's
Yeah.
just criminals everywhere. Um, and it's just funny. It felt like Gotham City or something. The movie sucks, though. I do agree.
Like that opening scene, if I saw that on YouTube, I would be like, let that guy make a movie. Whoever's behind the opening scene, you
Yeah,
know, like there's
yeah.
moments that are good, but it's strung together. Like in these action sequences that have good moments is strung together by a story that's so just like hacky and basic that
And
I
they're all
just,
CG cars and stuff too. It was no
yeah,
real car chase. Yeah, they threw a they threw a fucking dryer at
on
a
the
cop
cop
car
car.
or a washing machine or
Yeah.
whatever.
It was a washing machine filled with heroin. Like, what a
It's
silly
just fucking
crime.
ridiculous. Yeah, for real. Um, uh, moving on, I guess. Yeah, that movie fucking sucked.
Thank you for watching and listening to the Perfect Movie Podcast. If you're on Spotify, give us a follow and a 5-star rating. Tell a friend. If you're on YouTube, you can smash that like button, subscribe, comment down below. Also tell a friend. We'll see you next time.
I was midway through shooting Red One. I had an opportunity to go watch Oppenheimer, and I watched it in the IMAX theater where Christopher Nolan watches and screens his movies, him and Emma, his wife, and I even asked, let me sit where Chris is sitting. So they said, Chris sits here to enjoy the movie. So I sat where Chris sat. I watched Oppenheimer, it was amazing. But I was thinking, holy shit, this thing, Red One on this screen with this technology, gonna be game over. So I remember texting Jake and I sent him a picture first of my bare chest and then I sent him a picture of the screen. and we realized that we just had a great conversation afterwards about just how cool it's gonna be. It's gonna be very cool.